this deep dive. We know you follow the sustainability space, and you've probably seen the term carbon credit in a dozen corporate reports this week alone.
Oh, at least a dozen, and usually used pretty loosely.
Exactly. But today, our mission is highly specific. We're looking past the buzzwords to examine the exact rigid legal mechanism of how a carbon credit is officially defined on paper. And we're pulling this directly from the strict framework outlined in the TGO Knowledge series.
That's right, because in this field, the difference between a great environmental concept and a real tradable asset comes down to, well, pure unglamorous bureaucracy. Our goal today is to break down the technical process in those guidelines so you have a crystal clear map of the actual pipeline.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
We all conceptually know what a carbon credit's supposed to be. But when we look strictly at the TGO rulebook, the baseline requirement is incredibly grounded.
Yeah, it really is. A credit officially represents the actual quantifiable amount of greenhouse gas that is either actively reduced or physically stored through the operation of specific project activities.
And that word quantifiable is really the linchpin here, right?
Absolutely. You see companies upgrading to cleaner manufacturing machinery or investing in massive reforestation. They are doing real environmental good.
Right.
But under the framework, that biological or mechanical reality does not automatically generate a carbon credit.
Which is an aha moment for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It isn't just an abstract environmental buzzword. The system absolutely does not work on the honor system. You can't just plant a massive forest, pat yourself on the back, and tell the market you've offset your emissions.
No, you definitely cannot. What's fascinating here is the sheer strictness of the administrative bottleneck required to prove that physical reduction. To get official recognition under these TGO guidelines, a project must clear two critical, absolutely non-negotiable hurdles.
Right. First one being certification.
Correct. First, the specific greenhouse gas reduction or storage achieved by the project has to be officially certified by the TGO board.
Which involves a massive amount of vetting and auditing just to get a seat at that table.
Exactly. And even then, board approval is only step one. The second hurdle is that the officially certified reduction must be formally entered and recorded into the TGO carbon credit registry system.
So until it sits in that specific database, it just doesn't count.
Functionally, it does not exist in the market until it is sitting in that registry.
It's wild to think about it as such a strict transformation pipeline. If a company overhauls its supply chain to drastically cut emissions, that is just physics and engineering doing their thing in the real world.
Right. It is just a physical reality.
Yeah, and it takes that two-step administrative process, the board certification and the official registry entry, to magically turn that physical reality into a recognized tracked asset.
It really replaces the mystery of the market with a mountain of paperwork. But that mountain of paperwork is exactly what creates environmental accountability.
It keeps the system honest.
Precisely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, understanding this strict pipeline shows you how the gears actually turn behind the scenes. It prevents double counting, blocks unverified claims, and ensures that when a credit is claimed, there is a heavily tracked, audited paper trail proving the atmosphere actually benefited.
It really gives you a much more solid foundation for evaluating these massive sustainability projects when you see them pop up in the news. You aren't just looking at the new solar panels.
No, you are looking for the registry data. The registry is the ultimate source of truth in this ecosystem.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the official mechanics of the TGO framework. But before you go, here's a final provocative thought to mull over. If a carbon credit only officially exists after it makes its way through this highly specific, rigorous certification and registry process, how might the speed and efficiency of that administrative system impact our overall global timeline for actually reducing greenhouse gases? Are we moving fast enough on the paperwork to match the urgency of the physics? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us.